Hello, friends, and good brunch noon, and welcome to our Peach Brunch. Well, welcome, guys. I love it when we get together because when it's stressful,
I missed you guys.
I missed y'all.
Yeah.
I do because this
not you.
camaraderie.
Not you.
Yeah, stop. This camaraderie when you've had a stressful week.
I know.
It's just so important to just bring it down a little bit.
we get to
Commune
break
and eat with
bread.
friends. I love y'all. So how was your week,
On
John?
my way, it was amazing.
It was.
Got into the new place, floor to ceiling wellness. It's gonna be so amazing.
I bet it is.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to see it because you always putting other people in their new place, and now it's your time to shine.
It's my turn.
And you so fabulous. I know this house gonna be
Oh
laid.
my God, I can't wait.
We probably gonna have to come and do it at your house at some point.
We need to have a little brunch.
Yeah, we need to go on over there.
Yeah, we need to go on
Come on over
there.
and indoctrinated and all that other good
You know,
stuff.
just bless it real good.
Yes, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to come in there and cuss and do a lot. It's been a week. It was a week. You know, it's a lot going on in the world.
A
So,
little
I
stressful.
know.
yeah,
A lot.
a lot stressful.
And what do? You dealing with people all the time and trying to solve their problems during the day,
I am.
Right.
and then trying to help them put a beautiful smile on their face in the evening.
Right.
Yep.
I had a similar week.
happened?
Just so much mental health.
Yeah.
You know, you deal with it at work, you deal with it in your relationships, and it's a lot. So
It is a lot.
me and my sister were having a conversation because one of her girlfriends is in an abusive relationship.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so it's a little bit tough
my
when
God.
you're in an abusive relationship because sometimes you don't even know you're in an abusive relationship.
That's true,
Because
especially
it's
when it's emotional or verbal.
it's emotional, verbal. You might even have mental abuse,
Yeah.
and you don't even realize it. The thing we think about all the time is just the physical piece of
Yeah,
it.
a lot of people just don't even realize what abuse truly is.
Well, because it's been inherited. Because a lot of times you've been conditioned to accept
accept
abuse.
it.
Even
Accept
just
it.
like
That's so
it.
true.
Even
That's
just
the
like
realest thing you've
starting-
ever said.
She say a
That's
lot of
actually-
real things. You so
that's
shady.
not, I know. However, even from small children, when children are in the store, can I get some candy? Sit yourself down. Get your da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's
We
verbal
condition
abuse,
them
and
to-
you're
for
being
that. We
conditioned to it.
Yeah.
So then it translates into your adult
Adulthood.
relationships, and then
And you think it's justified.
You just thinking
because you
that-
get raised with it.
or you just don't even take a blind eye to it because you don't even recognize it to be abuse.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times you tolerate things too, right? For
We
the
do.
sake
We're
of-
tolerant, especially in our community.
Yeah.
I mean, because come on, we was all raised getting whippings. Now I don't know about y'all, but okay, well, you special
didn't
because
get
my
none.
mama would
You
put
know she
something
didn't
on
get
me,
none.
and it's not that sometimes it's a little bit of the discipline that we need. That not is always just verbal,
Right.
You know, like stop that, don't do that. Sometimes it's a little bit of like there is a consequence to
Right.
this.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying I'm not condoning it one way or the other, but
Right.
you're 100% right. It starts
Yeah.
off when we
It
children.
starts off when you're small.
Yeah.
It translates into adulthood, and then you will see a lot of women accept abuse because they also saw their mother receive
Yep.
abuse.
It happened in my
sometimes
own
it's
personal home. growing up.
generational inherited.
It is. It is. And it's different types of abuse.
Right.
I think the two types of abuse we really don't recognize is the mental abuse. Number one, it's the manipulation.
Yes.
It's playing the mind game.
It is.
Yes.
You know,
It
which
is.
begins to break down your self-esteem.
Turning it around on you.
Turn it around on you.
Yes.
Everything is you don't do this, or you used to do this, or somebody else I was dating
Yep.
was
They're
doing
doing
that.
this. Right,
This
right.
is what I like.
Deflection.
You get compared to even somebody that it could even be fictitious, but
Yeah.
you being compared to
somebody else. This dream woman
this
or,
dream
or
woman
guy or whatever it might be.
whatever. And so also too, like it's like Mister. Don't touch that mailbox because I done fixed it. And so she wouldn't go near it, and you didn't get any of the letters that your sister sent you.
Yeah.
Because you was
Color
literally
purple.
had been mentally abused.
Yeah.
To put you in your place.
Exactly.
To keep you subdued.
Yes.
So you don't really see what's going on in your own
And also
personal
so you
relationship.
can't see the true person.
That's it.
Yeah.
That you're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Because they're hiding themselves.
Yeah, that's
They're hiding themselves.
I've
A
been
lot
in a
of times we
situation
don't
like
know
that.
somebody.
Have you?
Yeah. Where the person, it was always my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It was always, they flipped it back on me.
You
They
sure it was your
manipulated
fault?
things.
Been there. oh, you never
It's
gonna
never
get
my
nobody
fault.
better than me type of
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
You know,
Ain't nobody gonna want you.
ain't
Don't
nobody
let that
gonna
one-
want you. That puts so many more insecurities on us
Yes.
that have to contend with.
Exactly. And if you already insecure,
Yeah.
then
True.
and then somebody will actually give birth to more
Insecurities.
baby insecurities is what for
Because we
lack of a
carry it,
better
like you
description.
said, we carry it as children.
Yes.
And we get conditioned a little bit to think, okay, it's just somebody giving me feedback to check myself. But
Okay.
then you go from mental abuse to then emotional abuse.
And
And
but
that's
you
the
have to
stage.
realize too, it's all it is the setup. Because if they have mentally and emotionally abused you, the physical is coming.
The physical is on the way.
It's on the way.
It's the train to it.
Yes.
Choo choo, about to get off the train, and now it's gonna be you hitting.
Right.
Because the emotional abuse is the verbal.
Right.
Now they want to say things to you.
Right.
And talk loud,
Right.
curse you out.
But why
Right.
you think all these girls BBLing it and all of that? Because somebody then told them that this wasn't good enough. That wasn't good enough. And we got
Changing
girls
their body.
and guys. And now Delta, an old person can't even get a wheelchair up at the Delta because everybody done got their butt done.
Now listen, before we go off on that subject, I do have a
So they need
question.
a wheelchair.
So what advice do you have for someone that's currently in an abusive situation, regardless of what it is, right? Because
What
obviously
did
your
you
sister
all
has a
tell-
friend.
What did y'all
Like-
tell her?
Yeah. What advice would you all
Well,
give?
the first thing I told her is, does she understand she's in an abusive relationship?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's the first
Knowing
thing.
is half the battle.
We only think when somebody start whipping our ass that now we in an abusive relationship.
That's true.
But
it's way more than
and it's
that.
way more than that. It's
Yep.
controlling.
It is.
Yes.
So are you not able to be your authentic self?
That's
like
true.
when you get to a point where you start to decide these things are important to me.
Right.
Right.
The person I want
Well,
to
I'm
grow to
important to
become.
me.
I'm important to me.
Right.
And making me important just means that the things that now I'm thinking about and wanting to do to explore my new authentic self, and that's a constant journey. Is this person preventing me from being able to evolve to that?
Right.
That is the beginning of the mental abuse, because now they're trying to tweak it. This is before they get loud and belligerent. Now
Right.
they're just trying to tweak it.
Right.
Okay, let me see if I can get her to start thinking about herself differently, not wanting to do these things, not being open to the change. Because
Right.
if she changes, then is she going to want to see me in the light that I'm in?
Right.
And I don't want to change.
But once there's a love deficiency, a self-love deficiency, anybody can come
Across
in
the board.
and mentally, physically, and emotionally abuse you
Yeah.
when you have a self-love deficiency.
Yeah. And I gotta have some compassion for it, because
Do you?
I do, because
Most definitely.
we all
Most
have
definitely.
mental health.
Well, we all
To
have
some
mental
degree.
health, but I done been through it, but
Yeah.
I ain't been through it enough for nobody to beat my ass.
Yeah, well, that's when
And you can't come out no bad. You can't speak to me in a manner that's unacceptable, because all of that is a no.
Well, here's
And
the thing.
But I don't have the love deficiency, because I think I've been taught from
Differently.
here that I'm amazing, that
But
I'm beautiful.
not everybody
I'm
has,
wonderful.
right?
she better gave you something
She
that
did. She was
a
fantastic.
lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
Right.
You was the only little baby.
Right, and
you
she
could
was always telling me, you were so
supportive
pretty,
and
you so this, and dressed you up and kissed you and loved you, and you're worth of this, and da 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 da.
and that
my uncle
changes
called me
the
a renegade,
dynamics.
though.
See,
But listen,
Because I don't
but
allow
you
nobody to
can
mistreat
be
me.
Right.
the renegade, because when you get that type of love, that's what makes you a renegade. You
Right.
can go out here and accomplish and do things and
Right.
not have that little person on your shoulder that's your critic,
Right.
that's constantly your own personal critic.
Right.
Right.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that when you go back to your sister,
Yeah.
that you at least have, or you're armed with advice to give her friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Because obviously she told you in
in confidence.
She did.
confidence, right?
She
In
did.
some type of way to help,
And I
Yes.
coach
right?
other people through my friends and through my sister in this situation.
Yeah.
So I told her, number one, you have to first look and see, how do you feel in this relationship?
Yep.
Right.
And is it really love?
Is it
Yes.
is it love?
Define love.
But before
Also,
we
is it
even,
worth it?
and I
Right.
just want to say, we put so much weight on love,
Yeah,
but love is truly just understanding.
Yeah.
it is.
Do you understand me at this stage of where I am?
Right.
And
it's also acceptance.
And acceptance, because
Do you
have
accept
to
me in this
understand
place?
somebody first to then say, I accept you.
Right.
And then when you accept them, then that's when we look and say, this person loves me because they understand and they accept where I'm at.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. Do you feel like you're accepted or you're not?
Right.
And if the answer is no,
Then you need to be doing like this.
you ain't got to walk, because you're going to walk all the time. Now you have to begin to express what it is that you need to see if that person is willing to evolve in their emotion with you.
Yep.
But usually an abuser does not care.
I don't think the abuser doesn't care. The abuser does not have the tactics to understand what it is you're asking me to do. Oftentimes we can't explain to people what I need because we don't stop and do it. You can, but sometimes even in that expression, now it's, this is what I need and this is who I am and who I need you to be.
Because it's at the last minute when you haven't established the ground rules from the gate.
That's exactly
And that's
it.
where a lot of the disconnect comes, because a person wants love so much that they will literally ignore, take a blind eye, as you will, to signs, red flags, and who a person really is.
Yep.
And then you look up, you are being abused when this person was that person from the gate, but you was wanting love. There's the deficiency again that you ignored a lot.
But I think the most important thing about that is, before you can love somebody else, you gotta love yourself.
You gotta love yourself.
That's true.
Right? And so that's what I think she needs to
I
evaluate
think
with
that's
herself.
the takeaway.
Right? She has to do some fact finding and some soul searching with that. Do you love yourself enough? Because a person that loves themselves enough would never put themselves in that type of situation or allow some of these things to happen.
Well, we allow things because we don't know how to do better until we learn about who I really am.
Right.
Authentically, and then you have to really begin to dissect yourself. And not everybody is good at saying, here is who I am today, and here's what I want to be going forward.
But also, let's just be honest. A lot of these relationships are entered in based on physicality,
100%.
Sexuality.
Of course.
So
that's
you
important.
haven't. So
that is the initial.
When you've gone in there and you done went in genitals first, and you have not gotten to know a person emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You don't know what their background is.
Way to bring it home, John.
Because it's just this simple. That's one of the things I ask a man. What is the relationship with your family?
Yeah.
I had one of my friends where he was abandoned. Well, if you have somebody who has been abandoned and then you come from a family where everybody adores you, y'all ain't gonna be able to make
Well,
it.
here's the reality, because in some cases you can bring him that strength because you don't have abandonment. I know, but then you're gonna be by yourself, because how many families out here today don't have a mother or a father in a home, and if you don't, then you're gonna have that abandonment. This is the kind of stuff I grew up with. It's the things that you understand. This is our day-to-day life.
Right.
That's true.
Was your mom and dad in your house?
Yeah.
Okay. Was your mother and father in your house?
My father died when I was 4.
Okay. Well, but you wasn't raised with him. Okay. My mother and father were married. It was somewhat of an abusive relationship. He wasn't there long term.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, everybody is dealing with different scenarios, whether they die, whether they stay together, whether they're divorced.
Right.
We have to be the ones that deal with the outcome of that.
Yeah.
That then defines us.
Right. But as adults, we're also responsible for protecting our own mental health.
We are just
and getting the help that we need.
Kids. If you think about it, you can go back to a time that was so critical and pivotal in your life that it started to change the landscape of who you were.
True.
Yes.
Who are you? Are you still that 12-year-old hurt young girl that somebody said something to, and now you 40 beautifully, and then you decide, okay, I still have to unwrap her to get to her? Do you know who and what stage you are, and you bringing that person forward to this stage?
Right. And a lot of y'all shouldn't be in relationships because you have things that you haven't addressed, and you haven't done the work prior to getting in a relationship.
But that's what I did after my divorce. I literally took the time.
You have to.
And I said, okay, I have to take the time with me and spending time with me.
Right.
The pandemic made it where a lot of people got to spend time with themselves, and now we're
other people shut in.
And it either worked or it didn't.
And it didn't, but we also dealing with the aftermath of it because
Very true.
A lot of people don't like what they saw.
Yeah.
A lot of people's mates didn't like what they saw.
And that's a great point, because when you start to get to a point where you don't like what you see, whether it's in you or that other person,
Right.
stop and be in evaluation of it.
Yeah.
Right, but also stop and be mature, because a lot of times people don't stop and be mature. I don't like this, and the person, then we start pointing the finger. You ain't this, you not that, da 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 da. Or when you can just say, you know what? I don't think that we're growing in opposite ends. I think we should stop and take a break here and reconvene if we have to be.
And be in evaluation.
But let's not destroy each other. Let's not destroy our friendship or whatever we had
we're building
that started this relationship.
Yeah. And I think the whole point of this conversation, and of course we're going to keep going because we love it,
Right.
but to go back and understand, what experience am I in?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, how did I get here?
How did I get here? How do I get out of here?
And how do I move? Because some of us could just be like, oop, done, and
That's
you
me.
that.
But also
some of us could be, who are you, Carl, in that scenario? Do you just say, chop, I'm done with you?
I mean,
or
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's who Carl is, right?
Yes, because I don't allow anybody to mistreat me.
Yeah. Right.
And I think there's different levels of mistreatment. I'm the person that says, I want to unwrap it a little bit. I want to understand, because in my relationships, I feel like I get to know me a lot. Now, if I'm getting my head hit on, which I have never had happen,
I done been slapped in the mouth
That's
before.
instant. That's instant.
Right.
But in any other situation, it starts as a conversation.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is, if you cannot do your own self-evaluation, get therapy.
That's what I tell people that you use your copay.
Yeah.
Use your copay. If you got some insurance, go ahead on using people copay. You know what I'm saying? Give them people them little $30 so you can get yourself together.
I love it.
And not be out here making people sick.
The most important thing is to be aware.
Yeah.
Just open yourself up.
Yeah.
Be aware. Always do constant
also
soul
take
searching.
action.
Yeah. But
You got to take some action too.
You will.
Because a lot of people want to, making excuses. You need to get no excuses, just results. You need to figure out what are the results are going to be for your life. Because if you don't, you'll keep picking the same abuser.
Yep. And
they just look a little different. They may be a little
repetitive.
taller, a little shorter.
It will be
but
repetitive.
the same. You'll get the same nonsense.
Well, look, we have a heated conversation. We're going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Take this back to your own peach brunch and unwrap it.
Yep.
How do I use these experiences from our friends all the time to have deep conversations, whether it's relationship or anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Just be self-aware, and it's okay to experience life.
Yeah, and check on your strong friends.
Definitely.
Most important.
and even and check on your strong siblings, because it's always that one that's extra strong for everybody, and nobody checks on that child. Check on that child.
Yeah.
Well, that seems a little personal, so we'll unpack that just a little later. Definitely. So until the next time.
See you later. Enjoy Peach Brunch.